Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled Campfire Tales, where we talk about the weird and serious stuff, even though some of the clowns who appear regularly on this show don't believe the real truth. As always, is joining us is Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. Doing great. How about you?
Hey, Jeff. I'm doing great. Hey, can I ask you a question?
No.
I'm gonna ask you anyways.
Well, why do you ask me if you can ask a question?
I'm just trying to be polite, you know.
Okay.
Hey,
Got it.
Jeff. Let's say you wake up in the morning. You know, think just another day in paradise. You you get ready for work, and you go outside of your car, and there's just weird silver metallic-y shit laid all across your yard. What are you doing? You gotta like try to figure out what it is, tell somebody, or are you just gonna hide it under a bush basically because you don't really feel like dealing with it?
I mean, I'd probably try to figure it out. I don't know why you would just hide it someplace. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, it shouldn't, but it will. It will.
Right.
Also, is joining us is Jamie. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm doing okay.
Jamie, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Jamie, Jeff figures out, hey, all this silvery shit is from a spaceship.
It's glitter. It sounds like
A glittery
How did you miss
spaceship.
that one.
A glittery spaceship. He comes to you. He's like, hey,
a glittery spaceship.
I found the pieces to this glittery spaceship. And you're like, oh man. And so you like take it, you're talking to people, and everybody's like, yep, this is a spaceship. And then all of a sudden someone comes out of nowhere and goes, it's a weather balloon. Are you gonna believe them? Or are you gonna be like, no, this is definitely a glittery spaceship?
You know how I feel. I'm gonna believe that it's a weather balloon.
Even though it doesn't look anything like a weather balloon.
I mean, I wish it was a glittery ship I could hang out in.
It's literally
surrounded by
covered in glitter.
But I'm gonna say it's a glittery.
Oh,
now it's a glittery weather balloon.
You may change your mind after today.
All right.
You may change your mind. Because as y'all know, last week we talked about Slither, so which is an alien movie. So I thought with all this talk we've been doing about aliens recently, maybe we should go back to the beginning. Take it back to the start. Hit that old timey tale that just keeps coming back up nowadays, everything going on. Figured we'd talk about the Roswell incident. Do either one of you guys know anything about Roswell?
I've heard of it.
Heard of the place? No, as you know, I'm not an avid reader of alien ness. So,
Alienness? You mean history, Jamie?
Your history of alienness.
Hey, this is real history.
I really look into. I know. No, I do not know a lot about Roswell. Let's just say that.
Wow. Jeff, what about you? You're a learned scholar, right?
I mean, I've heard of Roswell. I don't actually know that much about it, and I think it's because it's one of those deals where that's all anybody ever talks about. Yeah, and like I get like tired of hearing about Roswell. I guess you know what I mean.
It is history, man. Do you get tired of hearing about the first time we were on the moon?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Wow.
We moved past it.
Wow. That is just... Well, we're going back to it, Jamie. Did you hear that?
Okay.
We're going back to the moon. So...
we're going back to the moon, too?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a bunch of countries who all of a sudden want to go to the moon. India just landed their first craft on the moon yesterday. Germany, Russia, and Japan are the next ones up, and I think the U.S. will be returning to the moon, I think, by the end of the year. So all of a sudden, first comes all this alien stuff, then it's like everybody's like, well, we better go back to the moon. So it's all very interesting. Now we're going to learn about Roswell. Hey, let's go ahead and talk about this shit, shall we? We're going back to the year 1947. If you remember from the alien report, just a couple years after the bombs dropped in World War II, which was preceded a couple years before that by the incident at Los Alamos Labs, which is only 2 hours from Roswell, Jamie. You are writing all this stuff down, right? Because there is going to be a test at the end of the year.
Oh no, this time I'm not taking notes. Like my ghost. I saw my ghost notes though.
My God. Well, in mid-June of 1947, a man named Mac Brazel, who owned a ranch, woke up one morning, went out and was inspecting some of his land when he found all this like silvery, metallic-y stuff.
Glitter.
What he said, he described it. Some of it was looking like tinfoil. Some looked like what appeared to be rubber, maybe, and something that seemed like tape holding it, like pieces of it together, in these weird thin beams just scattered all across his farm. He wasn't very happy about it, so he did what any logical person would do. He collected it all together and then proceeded to stick it under a bush until he could figure out where to throw it away. So, or a brush. He stuck it under some brush and like some old like bushes and stuff that he was gonna like get rid of.
Why didn't he bring it inside?
Because he thought it was trash. He didn't know what it was.
But he still can't. Okay.
But that's country logic. Sometimes like you have
under a bush.
If you have a trash pile on like, every like farm or country, they have a trash pile where they got like old tin and metal just in a pile somewhere. And normally they try to put it next to something that kind of covers it up, like a bush or like behind a fence that even though you can clearly see it through the fence, but it's behind the fence. It's just that's what people do.
Okay.
So, and he's like, and they figured he'd dispose of it later in the trash or whatever. But about on July 5th, so a couple weeks later, he was driving in one of his routine trips into a nearby town called Corona, New Mexico, where there was a local bar there that he liked to attend.
That's weird.
Why is that weird that there was a bar he liked to go to?
No, just, I don't know. You draw your own conclusions about that.
You know what? I think you're drawing too many conclusions, guy. So he went to this bar, and the reason he liked to do this once or twice a month is because on his ranch, he had, because at the time, like there wasn't a whole lot in like Roswell. So like there was no phone line through the town yet, so he had no phone. He had no television. There wasn't really much around. He didn't get there was no newspaper to read or anything. So like the only time he kind of heard anything or was like caught up on current events.
There's no newspaper?
At the time, Roswell, it was basically just a couple ranches.
Wait, when was that?
1947.
There was newspapers in 1947.
No, but like Roswell didn't have their own newspaper.
Why'd Roswell not have a newspaper?
Because they weren't really a town yet, from my understanding. Like there was
they didn't get like a neighboring. They didn't get like a city newspaper or like.
There's only a couple. There's only a couple ranches. There wasn't that many people.
A telegram.
Well, it's 1947. Who the fuck is still using the telegram?
Apparently Roswell. They don't
have a newspaper.
No, they went to this other town.
I don't know about that. That seems suspicious.
Well,
already it seems suspicious.
It's all going
this
to
guy that just goes to the bar all the time.
No, not all the time.
Wakes up and it looks like a bunch of strippers were on his lawn.
No. Pieces of their costume, maybe.
Like holes and glitter. I don't know.
No, you said glitter. I said what looked like aluminum foil. Last time I checked, strippers don't use aluminum foil.
Maybe it's easy to rip.
That's true.
But
that you couldn't even like wear it to the stage.
Of course you could.
How you get that held up? Like it's staying on.
I'll find proof for you somewhere else. Let's just move on.
Okay. Well, anyways, he goes to the local watering hole, and he's drinking and talking to people, and he was telling some folks about this stuff that he found spread out all over his property, and he's like, I picked up. They're under a bush. It's weird. Well, what he didn't know at the time was, at this point, there had been all these flying disc sightings occurring around that area in New Mexico. There had been some in England, and then some on the East Coast they've seen. And people were telling him, like, oh man, like, haven't you heard about these flying discs that people are seeing? Some are saying that people from space are driving them and whatever. They're like, maybe one of them crashed in your property. Ha 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 ha. Because they were drunk. What shit they know. Well, our buddy Mac, he started getting a little concerned. He's like, well, there's nothing around. Where would all this shit come from? And he did what any logical person would do. He went to go see the local sheriff in that town. So the sheriff's name was George Wilcox. He went to the sheriff and he's like, he went home, grabbed a load of this stuff and put in his truck, then drove back to the sheriff, said, hey, all this stuff's just on my property. People in the bar were telling me about these flying discs. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this stuff. I don't know if I should be concerned. Well, the sheriff, he had no fucking clue. So there's a local military base. So he's like, I'm going to talk to the military. So he called in a couple of representatives from the military town. And you had a major Marcel and another military guy came. And they're looking at stuff. They're like, we've never seen anything like this. Don't know what it is. It doesn't make any sense why you're just doing your property. It looks weird. And so then they took it and they told Mac, hey, just go home. They said, we're going to look into this. So they took it and like they went back to the base with it and they're like showing different people. And as they're showing it to different folks in the military in the base, they all kind of came to agreement like, holy shit, this must be one of those flying discs, must be a UFO. Like this doesn't quite look like it's from Earth. It doesn't look like anything we've seen, any type of shift or anything. So that base released an official press release stating like a flying disc UFO crashed in Roswell, New Mexico.
So I'm sorry, backtrack.
Yes.
Logic in their head said, I've never seen this before in my lifetime of, let's say, 30 years. It must be. Not only that, I'm going to put out an official press release that this is an alien spaceship.
Yeah.
My logic is jumping to space and UFO and aliens. That's where their brains went.
They said it did not look like it was from this Earth, the material.
What does not of this Earth look like? Well, anything. I mean,
well, what you find out.
I'm sorry. I was too distracted with logic just jumping.
We'll bury the lead.
Dare you?
Basically, what they found was in like some of this wreckage, they said that the stuff that looked like aluminum foil was very pliable, but they couldn't tear or punch holes in it like aluminum foil. So it was too strong, too high of a tensile strength.
It was kind of like those those jackets, those like the warm jackets.
Yeah.
Ones, I don't know, the one that he used in Better Call Saul. Yeah.
Yeah, like the space blankets.
The space, yeah.
And then also in all of the beams, the core of them were these like purple hued, almost glowing like beam things in the center of them, and they all had what they described as covered in hieroglyphics.
Okay, sure,
but like not like Egyptian hieroglyphics, but they said like little pictures that look like hieroglyphics. Okay,
they're not scratches or whatever, or if they're even there to begin with. They're like pictures.
Okay. They were there. Why would they lie?
Okay.
All
right, go back. All right, so back into the story.
They released their official.
Put out the official release.
And now, because they were in such a rural area, what they did was they went to the local radio station, and they gave the press release to them. Who they automatically went on the air and started talking about how, hey, these ships landed, whatever, and then they released the information to the Associated Press so they could run in all the papers and all this stuff.
Now they're saying officially ships landed. Now they've moved on. And
they're like, hey, we found a crashed flying disc happened in Roswell, New Mexico.
Doesn't take much, huh?
Shit's happening, people, is what they said. So while this is happening, all these reporters and stuff are called into the police force in the area and the military. They're like, whoa, what's going on? What the shit? And like, everything's like going crazy. People are like rushing to the town to like get pictures and to look and see what's happening. And so while this is all happening in the radios, or they're covering the story over and over again, really Associated Press, Major Marcel is still like they're sending them to like another base to talk to higher ups in the military to show them the evidence found. Until they eventually they get to these people that they, according to them, didn't even look at the material, just said, this is a weather balloon. And he goes, and they're like, what? They're like, weather balloon, it's a weather balloon. And then while this is, he's like, just quit talking about it. And then while this is happening, some military individuals showed up at the radio station and stopped the broadcast of the radio talking about that, said, you can't speak this anymore, caused them just abruptly stop. And then the next day...
Yeah, because they're causing a panic.
Or maybe they're trying to block the truth, Jamie.
I'm just going to say, I know you're continuing. I just want to say it's just as sound to say based on description it's a weather balloon as it is from just saying I've never seen this, it's an alien spaceship. They're both very valid claims.
Yeah. Are you saying weather balloons have purple sticks with hieroglyphics on them?
I'm not saying there were no hieroglyphics. And I'm just saying both cases in what they did are just as valid as each other is what I'm saying. Both of them took large leaps of logic to get
to where they're yeah.
Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. So the next day, military comes out, all the papers, just a weather balloon, whatever. And so the farmer, once this all comes out, he's like, oh my God, I got the sheriff in trouble. And like, I caused it. He blamed himself. And then he started scouring his property for the rest because he knew there was a bunch of it. He just got the big stuff. He went to scour his property to get the rest of the material so he could take the sheriff and confirm like, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't think this was a weather balloon or whatever. And when he got back to his property, he could not find a single shred of it. And it was like it was never there.
The call was coming
he give
from
it all
inside
out to
the
people?
house.
No.
But didn't he also give it out to all these people to look at? Didn't it go to the military?
No, he took a truckload of it to town, who he gave the sheriff, who then gave it to the military people, who then took it.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So that kind of took a lot of steam out of the Roswell incident. And so kind of people quit talking about it. Until 1978. A man named Stanton Friedman, who I'm sure we will cover in an episode one day, is kind of like the father of ufologists. Like he was a physicist, a nuclear physicist who like was really interested in like some of the events that was occurring in the 60s and 70s, these UFOs, and he wanted to study it as scientific principle and not like conspiracy theorist or things like that. He was kind of the guy that invented like ufology when they were known as
UFO. Is that a real term? Ufology?
Yeah, he's considered the world's first ufologist. Okay. He was the guy that kind of took it, looked at a scientific viewpoint publicly, and applied like actual physics and things to it. And he was in Louisiana, and he was giving a speech because when he kind of started doing these studies and stuff like that, a lot of universities would pay him to come speak and talk because he was like applying real world physics and theoretical physics to like what these phenomena could be. And so he was like going and speaking at various physics departments and colleges and different like physics events, conventions and stuff. And he was in Louisiana giving a speech when a gentleman came up to him, and because at this point his name was starting to grow. He actually, Jeff, this may shock you, but he
Jeff,
actually,
him
and some of his partnerships
I was gonna say
actually led to the creation of MUFON.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
Wow.
MUFON.
You don't know what MUFON is, Jamie?
No, I'm sorry, guys.
Wow.
You wait, like, you've not ever seen them? Like, have you ever seen a UFO?
Have I ever seen a UFO?
Yeah.
In real life? No.
Yeah. Who do you call if you see one then? You call the news? Can you trust them?
Oh, this is like no, I didn't know any. I told you, I don't read into the alien stuff.
No, MUFON is the mutual.
I guess I'm calling you when I see
Call me first. MUFON is the mutual UFO network. It's basically this group that when UFOs weren't taken seriously when they were formed, people could call them and they would come. They used a scientific approach to log and keep track of these because they believed at the time no one was keeping track of this stuff.
Hey, good to know.
Because the military was denying it. The media was saying it was a crock of horse shit, but like these people were taking it serious. So Miss Friedman, anyways, was in an airport after a speech, getting ready to fly home when a gentleman walked up to him and said, I've heard about you in the news. There's someone you really need to speak to. I can't say no more about it. Gave him a piece of paper and walked away. Well, the information for the person he was talking to was a former Major Marcel, who wanted to speak to him about an event. As you remember, Mr. Marcel was the military major who the sheriff gave the stuff to. So Friedman ended up meeting with Marcel, and Marcel told him, like, hey, what happened to Roswell was a cover-up. Like, that material is not of this earth. There's other people that I can have you talk to that were involved in that incident from the military that can vouch that wasn't a weather balloon. Like, it didn't look like any weather balloon we've ever seen. And it was going on and so forth. And he ended up bringing out he ended up connecting with like 98 other folks in the military. It was like, no, this
98?
98.
That's a lot of folks.
Hey, it was like, this is a UFO, talked about the hieroglyphics and like the purple hue, like glowing beams and stuff.
Can we take the hieroglyphics out of it? Because
it was. It was hieroglyphics said. So, and then now I will say, so Friedman convinced him to go to the press and like start talking about it. Like, well, this needs to be public knowledge. At the same time, a rumor started coming out that they had found little alien bodies at the wreckage. That wasn't true. That was just a rumor.
Oh, okay. Well,
but the spaceship they found.
They didn't find these guys.
They didn't find them.
No, they didn't find any bodies. So, Friedman convinced Marcel to give interviews. His first interview with, and I will say this at the time, I think it had a little bit more accreditation.
Oh, I can't wait.
Than it does now. But his first public interview was with the National Enquirer, which at the time in 1978. So
then this is where their decline began.
No, they were just willing to talk to anybody.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, regardless of if you believe this at the time or not, if you're going to start publishing this ridiculous story, this is when you start to become the publication that deals with ridiculous.
Well, you say ridiculous, Jamie.
Are they still around?
Yes, they are. Now, but they're the ones that talk about like Satan dog baby punched Oprah in the vagina. Yeah. Like,
was it weird stuff like that? Was it the National Enquirer at the time, or was it just like the Enquirer?
The Enquirer.
Are those two different things?
I think those are two different things because everything I saw said they were the National Enquirer at the time this came out.
That's what I mean. So it was the National Enquirer.
Correct.
That he. Okay, because I didn't know if like the Enquirer was a different.
Oh no, right.
More respectable entity.
No.
So we could basically write for the National Enquirer, it sounds like, at this point.
No,
in time.
We use
at
fact.
At this point in time, we could just make let's use fact and write something about the
we should be
Ramamume and send it to
that's a good idea. We should start writing articles.
Well, we should. I'm thinking we should start our own paper. We should become legitimate and not crazy like the National Enquirer is. We write legitimate articles about this stuff. And Ramamume. She would be the mascot.
Right up top.
Yeah. She's the mascot.
The cover would have her on it, but her like breasts would be blurred out.
I'm thinking since her nipples are made of iron, that whatever our name of our newspaper is, it has to have 2 O's in it. Because that would be her nipples. She'd be the drawing in the background.
Our mascot could be like a little squonk. Because he's
not that lazy.
And he's depressed because these.
Would you rather be Donkey Lady?
Yeah. Don't even start it. I almost said that, lady. And then I didn't want this to happen.
We call it the Donkey Lady Nightly. DLN. Just think about it. It grows.
What's funny is too, like the way we're organized on my screen. I'm like literally pointing at Eli because.
Well, you know what? How about this? You guys are sitting there thinking you know all about this stuff and like you mock it. Well, here's a couple of facts for you, Jamie and Jeff.
Whoa.
So between 78 and 90, Friedman studied, interviewed witnesses, and was just everything about Roswell, trying to get the truth about what actually happened there in 47, right? Well, in 1991, a retired brigadier general from the U.S. Army came forward and said that the weather balloon story was a cover-up and that the military was hiding something else, but that's all he would say. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I think it was actually a deathbed confession. Like, he was like, yep, everything he was saying is true. It's cover up. Do with it what you will. And so when that happened, it kind of became like the national attention again. People were like, what's going on? Well, in 98, a senator in New Mexico went to called the military forward. They're like, we got to figure out what's going on. And was talking to the military about what happened in Roswell. The military was like, okay, yes, it was a cover up. It wasn't a weather balloon. It was related to atomic surveillance experiments we were doing that were classified at the time. And so the senator goes, oh, can you prove that? Do you have documentation? They go, yep, we'll bring it to you. And she goes, okay. And then a month later, they come back and go, we lost the documentation, which, if you remember, Jeff, that's the same thing that happened with Kecksburg. I was just going to
say, this sounds like the Kecksburg incident.
Yeah,
there's a lot of similarities.
There's a lot of UFO incidents where this happened. So then they press the military, like, what do you mean you lost it? What are you talking about? They're like, just we were moving or something.
Or something.
Lost
moving
it.
Or something.
Oops. So they, and once again, they were trying to talk to more witnesses again and stuff like that. And when they were talking to some of the witnesses, like some of the folks they were talking to at the time, before they kind of stonewalled and kind of gave it up. Some of the military folks they interviewed stated that they actually what happened was, like, when they started doing atomic energy and nuclear tests in that desert, they started seeing these flying discs, and they believed that they were surveilling them to see what their atomic capabilities were, which was the theory I introduced, the theory I believe and pushed, the special report. And so now, fast forward to this time, with all these kind of disclosures and stuff like that, people are thinking that Congress should push to see what really happened at Roswell.
There's no way to tell they lost the documents.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think they'll tell anyways, because they can't even talk to them about what was going on in that hearing. And they're still they're ignoring their subpoena. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So what do you say about that, you two naysayers?
I want to know, are you only providing me, you're providing me with facts and truth?
Yes.
Well,
I noticed. Yeah. Oh, sorry. People can't see what I'm doing. You're providing me with facts and truth, but are you only providing me with the facts and truth that back up what you want to believe? Are there facts and truth that back up the weather balloon?
No, because the military,
besides the people saying that it wasn't a weather balloon.
Actual military
said it wasn't a weather balloon.
Said it wasn't a weather balloon. They said that was a cover up because they were doing classified atomic aerial surveillance
the official
testing
statement that there
from
was
the
no
military.
Weather balloon.
Yep. Yeah.
The famous Roswell, New Mexico incident was not a weather balloon.
The military came out and said that.
It's fact. Okay.
Yeah. They said it was they still won't say what it was, but they're like, it was a part of atomic aerial surveillance.
So they changed. They've officially changed their.
Right. They said that they did come out and say the weather balloon was a cover up. And then when that senator from Mexico Times like, okay, well, can I see documentation that?
They don't have it.
They're like, we lost it.
The dog ate it. Okay.
Oops. So that's pretty crazy evidence.
Oh yeah, that's proof that it was an alien spaceship in this guy's yard.
It's proof they're lying about the weather balloon. What else they gonna lie about, Jamie? And then you had all these people involved from the military that years later were interviewed with no money. It's not like they made any money from this. And if anything, the whole country made fun of them, considered them crackpots. But all these people came forward and said, well, no, this is a UFO.
They made that National Enquirer money. Giving out interviews.
At that time, National Enquirer was not giving out any money.
She had a Starbucks gift card.
Oh, it's pumpkin spice latte season.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there wasn't even a Starbucks at the time. So I would say there was no benefit.
Thanks for clarifying that for me, Eli.
You're welcome. So at the time, there was no benefit, Jamie. There was no benefit. They got nothing for coming out. If anything, they got ridiculed. So why else would they come forward and say it's UFO? All these people.
How many people
Well, if it was 98.
We about to say 98. 98 did not come forward and say it was a UFO. Don't even tell me that.
Interviewed 98 people who said that it was either what they called a flying disc. They believe it was some type of UFO. They said it was not a weather balloon and it was not something of ours. 98.
Because it had hieroglyphics, purple hieroglyphics.
Well, the hieroglyphics really. Yeah.
Well,
an Egyptian flying
Jeff,
saucer.
You laugh, but the one guy that saw the ship in Kecksburg, what did he say was on the bottom of it?
Yeah.
He said there was hieroglyphics on the bottom of the Kecksburg UFO.
Yeah, and he didn't sound inbred or anything.
So, exactly. So, a lot of similarities between these two stories.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of similarities.
You calling that a coincidence?
What year was Kecksburg's?
Kecksburg, I think.
37?
Here, let me Google
50 something. I can't remember. I know we talked about it, but I can't remember when exactly it happened.
I wasn't a part of this conversation.
Kecksburg was. It was me. Dave was here for that one. Kecksburg was 65.
So you think it's possible that Kecksburg was a copycat?
Almost 20 years. Well, no, because it was 20 years
why can't
after.
He be saying the same shit though? Like why can't one person have heard these heard this theory? I'm going to call it a theory, whatever. Heard these facts, and then people have started regurgitating the same facts.
The reason I would say no, because if you think about it, Kecksburg was 20 years later on the other side of the country, right?
Yeah, and there's no. I mean, they didn't have internet. I mean,
no internet,
I mean, that's a fair point. You know,
they did not have internet. You know, also where Kecksburg occurred, it was a rather rural area. I mean, they were close. Like, I mean, now they're like an hour from the city, but back then with like the shitty Carter stuff, like they might as well have been 2 days.
It's still a rural area.
They were like, I heard this story in the National Enquirer.
Yeah. I read the National Enquirer. That's how long it took for the National Enquirer to get there. 20 years for that issue to come out.
Right.
Right. Eli's not listening. He just said, thank you.
Because I'm ignoring your thing because I'm looking at something else up here because another point to prove my thing.
Did an alien just text you?
An alien just texted me. Here's another point to better prove my thing here, right? So 20 years later, the thing about the hieroglyphics, right?
Mm-hmm. Hieroglyphics, yep.
The other thing too was after the Kecksburg incident, because I want to make sure I'm a timeline, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of folks said it was like when the military left, it was like they were never there. All this stuff was gone and cleared out. You couldn't even tell something fell into the woods. Like this broken like sticks or the ground and stuff was all even again. What happened to that farmer's land? Couldn't find another piece of the debris in his yard.
Yeah, but nothing happened to his ground or anything. He just had garbage. Someone cleaned it up.
Those are two different things.
Yeah, that's two different.
But there's no trace.
Someone just cleaned up the garbage.
Yeah.
It was not garbage. It was flying disc.
Sorry.
Space
flying
garbage.
Disc that he put under a bush.
Hey, where is space garbage from, Jeff? Space. You have proved my point.
You know what I wish we had? I wish, especially since we do a YouTube,
a good host.
I wish we had the views of us and then a blank whiteboard, and we could just draw things while you were talking, and draw your timeline or just draw random things while you're talking.
Yeah, isn't there a whiteboard mode?
All I'm saying,
I don't know. It would just be hilarious.
All I'm saying, Jamie, right? If you look at all these weird incidences with the military. And then them being like, nope, it's just this. And then 20 years later, be like, oh, yeah, it was a cover up. Admitting it, right? And then, think about the Fire in the Mountain story. You familiar with the Fire in the Mountain story about the loggers who claimed they were abducted?
No, but I'm distracted by what's happening on our screen.
Don't you dare. Is you on a UFO? Nice.
I don't know.
I thought you were drawing a penis, but apparently that's not what we're doing.
No, we're on YouTube. This is a kids channel. Come on now.
I don't know what this is.
What is that?
Ween. I don't know what that is.
All I'm saying is, you look at the loggers that were abducted, the same thing out with them, and it came out that they had all this radiation burn and stuff. Just saying, Jamie, if you look in these UFO stuff, there's an awful lot of coincidences.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, it's tough to put it in context, honestly, from like today's time frame back to then, because my thing is, yeah, they don't necessarily have the same technology. You know what I mean? Like, because we're thinking about it like, oh, well, hey,
maybe it was,
why? How did they not hear about it? You know what I mean? But in all actuality,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very reasonable that the people in Kecksburg wouldn't have known that much about the Roswell incident, besides maybe like by passing. Because if you think about it, after the military came out, it says weather balloon, they said it was talked about very little until 78. So there was 20 years it was barely spoken about. Like, it's and the people involved, it's Kecksburg's a rural area. Doesn't seem unreasonable at all that they would have heard about it.
That's true.
Let's think about it this way, right? Jamie, have you heard? Let me ask you this question. Have you heard of the Blackmore UFO incident?
No, listen, ask me one more time if I heard of any alien.
Well, the reason I bring it up, Jamie lives in a city, has the internet, and that's the most famous UFO case in English history, or in England, UK.
What is it called?
The Blackmore UFO incident.
Oh, no. Maybe
I've never heard that either.
Maybe the guy just had radioactive Mr. Burns on his property.
It's I mean, it could have been a rocket, right? Like like a nuclear rocket a test rocket. It probably would have been a nuclear rocket.
Why would they have hieroglyphics on a nuclear rocket?
It could have been science.
You gotta let the hieroglyphics go. Yeah, there's gotta have been a different. Maybe he was just using shorthand, and it's how he writes in shorthand.
Because they didn't have a newspaper, so he probably can't even read. That's why.
Drawing his notes out.
These hieroglyphics, like that's the alphabet, sir. Like, you know
what? I just think that
alphabet.
Listen, and even now with all this stuff coming out, where the military once again goes, "Yep, we've known about UFOs this whole time. We just denied it." Like, all this stuff is coming out now. It's the same song and dance.
What do you mean, same song and dance?
Well, like, every time there's been a UFO incident the military's involved with, at the time they're like, no, this is crazy. And then like some years pass, they're like, well, all right, yeah, it happened that way.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, isn't that like kind of the military's MO, right? It's like,
so that's what I'm saying, right? So they already admitted that, no, it was the weather balloon. We made that up. And now you're saying it's hard for you to believe that it's not a flying disc from space?
Why do they have to be discs? That doesn't make any sense. That always, I'm always weirded out by that. Like, what is the point of discs?
They're frisbees.
Right? Like, it's always like, oh, discs and whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
well, actually, if there's articles where they think that the reason they use disc is because no matter the gravity or the levels of centrifugal force or anything like that, a disc can always get enough momentum to efficiently go through it. So that's a little physics for you.
Wait,
that doesn't make any sense.
I'm listening to you, but is this
why don't we build our?
Is this a Rama Mune alien?
It is, yeah.
That's it.
Then why don't we make our?
Because we have to use thrust, because we need thrust. So a disc is not with the type of thrust that we have the technology for. A disc is not the most efficient. Whereas if we had another form like what they think that the UAPs use now, which is a gravitational engine where it can manipulate gravity, like that is efficient. For us now with thrust, what we need for thrust and the exhaust for us to fly, a disc is not efficient because we basically have to.
Well, here's some physics for you. The propulsion system isn't necessarily the determining factor when you're talking about in atmosphere.
Well,
resistance.
In ours it is because we have to have it to be sleek enough that we can cut through the basically the force and gravity to get through. So that's why all of our planes the nose is point shaped if they're not propeller based, because all of our thrust comes from the back. And so we basically have to cut through the airflow to get enough lift off underneath of us, because we use the airflow under the wings to keep us lifted. Mm-hmm. And not to be dragged on the exhaust. Boom, knowledge. Listen, I will prove UFOs every day. All I know is, Jamie, you better be figuring out a dessert when me and that alien knocks on your door. Because I want some just desserts when you're apologizing to me.
What's the who's the people I have to call? Like Mofo?
Mofo. I like the name Mofo better, but MUFON.
MUFON. There's an N on the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Mofo.
I'm pretty sure Friedman and them fought. I don't think he ever joined.
I gotta call that Mofo Eli. That's what I gotta do
right.
when the aliens come. I can't. I'm distracted by this whiteboard. I can't.
We close it. No more toys.
Because I'm pretty sure Friedman
thanks, Eli.
Hey, that's what you get. I'm pretty sure Friedman fought with MUFON.
Over who's the lamest?
Why? Yeah, wait, why?
No, because they were they kind of got Friedman's
Wouldn't he want them around?
Well, Friedman's thing was that science should be used to determine what is going on, and that everybody like a normal scientist, his thought was everyone should get behind science, and whoever they have to work with to find an answer, because the answer and for scientific good should be what unites everybody. So he had no problem answering questions for the military or whoever or whatever. Whereas MUFON in the early day, when it was kind of more active and more doing stuff instead of now being just a fan club, it almost seems they got real butthurt because they get real butthurt when people wouldn't take them serious and stuff. But then if the government or somebody took something about this serious, but then didn't invite MUFON, they got real butthurt about that as well. So then they would only work within MUFON. They didn't want to work with anybody else. They kind of wanted all the credit for everything.
When were they founded?
MUFON? Mm-hmm. Oh God, it was around the 70s.
I can't believe that's what they're called. The more you say it, the stupider it sounds.
There was when was that? There was a convention a couple of years ago in Pittsburgh.
They have a convention every year. MUFON was founded.
Eli?
No, you have to be part of MUFON.
Oh.
Yeah, we were going to try to become undercover members.
MUFON was started in 1969. Oh,
okay. Oh.
Yeah, Friedman was not a part. I think he helped them a couple times at first. Then they did not. MUFON did not care for Friedman.
It's a big deal. You can take this
MUFON.
test and
so I mean, at the time, they were just a bunch of butthurt nerds because no one took them serious. But honestly though, they probably have, besides the military, which I think has a secret record, that they don't make public. MUFON probably has the most complete record, I would say, of actual UFO sightings, because they have chapters all over the US and other countries. You literally call them and then they take it with
I was going to say, can anybody, can I put in a report?
Yeah, you call them, they'll send an investigator out.
Oh, that's what I mean. No, but I meant can I just say I saw one and they're yep. Check.
No, they'll send an investigator out to talk to you, because the thing they always try to do is try to rule out if you made it up or if you're just, or if
I'm crazy or
or something. And so anybody can join MUFON. Jeff and I was looking, but to join you got to pay money, and then you got to pay money to be an apprentice, and then there's a test you got to take, pay money, then you got to pay money to be another apprentice, and then you finally pay money to get your MUFON license. So
you're only ever paying money. That's it.
Yeah. But you don't, and they have some positions where you can make money, where you get paid by them to do it, but those are far and few in between. But if you ask people MUFON, they don't do it because it's a job. They do it because it's their civic duty.
Yeah, they volunteer. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And nothing's prouder than the day you get your black polo that says MUFON.
That's what you get.
And you have to buy
That's all you get. Yeah.
You have to buy it. But when you pass your test, you can buy the black MUFON
God,
polo.
They can't even give you a fucking shirt.
Badge. No. Well, they're a nonprofit, Jamie. Okay.
I've known nonprofits who have given out shirts.
Well, they're not that kind of nonprofit. All their money goes to finding the truth and to hosting their yearly convention in Vegas.
And the CEO.
In Vegas? It's in Vegas?
Yeah.
Maybe, really?
It's been in, here, let's see where it's at. Let's see where it's at.
2023 MUFON convention. I'm going.
It is. Well, I think it happens in March.
Let's crash it.
Yeah.
It's called the MUFON International Symposium.
Symposium. Classy.
Yep, that's fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, it starts today.
Oh,
where are we flying to?
It's today until Sunday, and this year it's being held in Covington, Kentucky, at the Northern Kentucky Convention and Visitor Bureau Center.
Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
I take it back.
So, what do you mean you take it back?
I don't want to go to Kentucky.
I mean, there's some cool stuff to do in Kentucky.
No,
yeah, I'm sure, but I was like excited.
Have you ever been to Kentucky?
Yeah, like twice.
There's nothing cool there.
I drove through it real quick.
Yeah, like,
and I was in the airport there once.
You never hear like, oh gosh, I want to go to Kentucky for X, because nobody goes to Kentucky. Like, if you think about it, like, when's the last time you heard anybody say,
I don't know anybody who's, I have no idea. I don't even think I know
like,
anybody
I don't know.
Lives there.
There's nothing even in Kentucky. Why is it like?
I know somebody who went to the Hatfield and McCoy's campgrounds.
Oh,
wow. They went to Kentucky for that. I mean, I think it's like the border, so, but yeah, whatever.
There's nothing in Kentucky. It's just
maybe kind of just like a forgotten place.
That's the point. Like, there's no distractions.
Like the more we talk about it, I wonder if it's even real, because I don't even.
Kentucky?
I don't. Yeah.
Like, you wonder if Kentucky's real?
I mean, what's it known for? It's not known for anything, right?
What, Kentucky?
Yeah.
Keep saying it.
Kentucky
the word gets weirder and weirder.
Kentucky.
What?
Kentucky mash?
Kentucky.
I mean, a bourbon, maybe?
You know what? I'm going to look it up. Kentucky is known for its culture.
Oh, yeah.
Which includes horse racing. Oh, yeah. It's a bunch of horse racing places.
Oh, the Kentucky Derby. Yeah.
Kentucky Derby.
Something I'm against. Yeah. Great.
Bourbon, moonshine, coal, the mild Kentucky Home State Park, tobacco, Southern cuisine barbecue.
I forget about the Kentucky Derby.
Bluegrass, and the Louisville Slugger baseball bats. And Jeff, what is Kentucky known for? Oh, I don't know. How about a little famous restaurant called Kentucky Fried Chicken?
I just looked up fun things to do in Kentucky.
and I bet you there's a list 10 miles long.
No, I got the Mammoth Cave National Park, geological area.
Oh, see?
Zoo.
Right, in all of Kentucky, it's like one zoo.
Yeah, there's not.
Oh, also Kentucky.
What's the capital of Kentucky?
The horse park.
Is it Louisville? Capital of Kentucky.
Can you tell me another place in Kentucky? Because I can't.
Louisville,
Birmingham, Kentucky.
Frankfort is the capital of Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm doing the same search.
Kentucky also is the state for beer cheese.
Guys, keep saying Kentucky. It doesn't even sound like a word anymore.
Also,
it's fading fast.
The home place of Jim Beam.
Okay, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky. Oh, Lexington is another city.
What? Oh,
I take it Kentucky's not a big tourist destination.
I mean, if you like a burgoo, it is.
A what?
Their state dish is called burgoo.
Okay.
What is that?
It is just a bunch of mixtures of meat and vegetables in either a crock pot or a stew pot. Typically, you would use the parts of chicken, beef, and pork that may not.
The parts. What's their state bird?
Sounds disgusting to me. It'll take me 11 hours to drive to Kentucky, just so you guys know.
The Kentucky state bird, Jeff, I'm glad you asked, is the northern cardinal.
Oh, there we go.
So,
I think it's about 6 hours from us, maybe.
No, not even that. Maybe like 3.
Well, yeah.
If that.
Any place good in Kentucky is probably far, but
I mean, honestly, when we were in Mothman, we weren't too far from Kentucky.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
How big is Kentucky? Why are we still talking about this?
Yeah,
because it's Kentucky, Jamie. It's Kentucky.
Hey, somebody got to talk about it because nobody else does.
Yeah, like.
But so let me ask you this, both of you guys.
Yeah.
Of all the stuff we've talked about with aliens over the last couple months, don't you feel your dial moving just a little bit closer to think I believe?
No.
Jamie, what is it going to take?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet.
I present all this weird shit that's been happening and like inconsistencies and lies by people and all this stuff. What is it going to take?
I don't know. Like the official announcement that
you got a government agent admit they're real.
One, like I can admit unicorns are real. It doesn't mean
the military admitted UFOs are real, and they state that they do not know at this time if they're extraterrestrial. So, but they stated that UFOs are real. The military stated that officially.
I don't know.
It still doesn't move your dial. Is it literally going to take me knocking on your door? Yeah. First off, by the surprise of the sheer fact that I showed up in New York City.
Yeah.
And two, I know where you live without telling you that I'm on my way over. Yeah. And three, that when I do knock on your door and you open it and you're going to be surprised of, oh my God, Eli, why are you in New York City? Oh my God, Eli, how did you know where I live? Why is there glitter everywhere? And who the fuck is that behind you?
No, I know why you're in New York City because when you show up, it's because you have the alien.
And I'm like, I hope that dessert's ready. If I were you, I would just every couple of days make a new dessert. Ready?
Yeah,
have it ready because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Because Jeff, I know you're a believer, right? You believe in aliens, right?
I don't say I don't believe. I mean, I think there's a lot of
well, if you don't
suspicious.
Believe,
no, I'm saying that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying if you don't believe, then that means you do believe.
Guys,
no,
he's open.
I don't not
His brain is open.
I don't.
There's a difference here. We're not gonna have this conversation, but there's a difference between like atheist and agnostic and religious. You know what I'm trying to say? There's different degrees of belief of something. Is that a bad comparison?
But you know what we're talking about? Aliens.
Yeah, I know.
Hieroglyphics. What else had hieroglyphics? Egypt. What have they found on some of the walls and the hieroglyphics in the pyramids? Pictures of what they believe are aliens. Did the aliens teach the Egyptians hieroglyphics? Because that's what it seems like. Boom. Mic drop.
But why haven't they come back then?
Would you come back and look at the shit show the fucking human race has done?
Yeah, because everybody. Yeah, but I guess they're just not.
Because here's what's
like us.
I'll tell you what happened.
If we found something, we'd be fucking probing it up and down.
That's because
I don't mean physically. I mean we'd be probing the area. Like we'd be going back and forth. And
that's because humans are cockroaches. So I'll tell you what happened. I can tell you what happened, Jamie. Right? This is what happened. They were at first they were in Egypt. They're like, hey, like let's.
Yeah, these people seem cool.
You seem cool, right? Like let's show you stuff. And then they're like, wait a minute. Wait, their punishment is they embalm people alive and then bury them alive, like with basically like brain dead in a casket to be eaten to death by bugs. That seems a little extreme. Oh, your pharaoh is jealous of an usurper and has had the firstborn child in every family killed. That seems like a little much.
How you know the aliens didn't teach them that?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, you don't know.
Could have been the aliens teaching humans that.
I don't think so. Or the aliens are like, "Oh, you're enslaving a whole race of people. Okay, well, we're gonna go to space now. Bye."
All the instructions are probably in those hieroglyphics that those guys saw.
Oh, so you're saying that they just misread them?
No, that's the instructions. They don't know how to read hieroglyphics. So
they know how to read hieroglyphics.
That guy and the guy in Roswell didn't know how to read them.
But he didn't study Egyptology or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I like how you.
There's people in Egypt who study the pyramids and the tombs and stuff, and they can read hieroglyphics. I mean, maybe not perfectly, but they can read them enough to know what's going on.
That's what I'm saying. Like how we don't know that the ones on the spaceship weren't instructions on how to create tombs and bury people alive.
Well, why would we still dare to tell us how to do that? Why would we do it again?
Because that information's lost. They taught the Egyptians because it was on their spaceship. And that's just like what's on their spaceship is how to do that.
It's just on their spaceship.
That just seems like
that seems like a motto.
That just seems like a weird thing to do to put instructions for people on the outside of your car.
Weirder than just flying around the planet and screwing around. Like, I mean,
well, that'd be like if you put it on the side of your car how to bake a cake and just drew around.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like that.
Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, like that's a normal thing to do. Like, what are you talking about?
It's just like that, so.
You know what? I can't even. I've tried teaching you to.
He's spreading the message of cake.
I've tried teaching you to and getting you on board, and I can't help you in the aliens come. I can't help you. I've tried. I've done my part. I don't know what it will take.
Actual aliens.
Well, when it happens, like I said, Jamie, I like most baked goods except for if there's fruit in it. So you want to keep that in mind.
That's fine. I won't. Yeah, we don't. We don't do that in this house.
So
no fruit in our desserts.
Keep that in mind when you make me a really good dessert. What dessert are you known for?
I'm not really like I do really.
Well, you better learn
cupcakes.
I love cupcakes. That'd be great.
I don't think a lot of people. I used to be into decorating, so I could make them like aliens. Like I used to be like really into.
Well, I would like each one to say, "I'm sorry." That's what I want each one to say.
Okay, that's a
I don't think a lot of people have a dessert they're known for. That's a weird question. Like,
no, like a lot of chefs. Chefs have their chefs have their signature dish.
Chef Jamie.
They have a signature cake or signature
I feel like
dessert.
that's like a 50s housewife thing. Like they go to the party and they all have like, I bring my crumb cake or my cookie cake. And
what dessert are you known for?
Ice cream sandwich cake. Believe it or not, when I was back,
I've never
ice cream sandwich cake.
Ice cream sandwich cake.
Yeah. Oh, it's delicious.
Wait. You're going to tell me about that, but I'm also going to tell you
how long have I known you? And that's literally the first time I've
heard of it.
I haven't made it since. Well, no, I made it like last year for Mary's family. I didn't know you liked ice cream sandwiches.
How do you make an ice cream sandwich cake?
Who doesn't
I'll tell you.
You just break up ice cream sandwiches? Is that what
you don't break them up. You don't break them up.
Yeah, you just separate them.
You get a cake. You get a cake pan, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And you put ice cream sandwiches.
You do one layer of ice cream sandwiches.
Okay.
Then you do a layer of Cool Whip, a layer of caramel drizzle.
Get out of here.
And then a layer of
that's a bunch. That's a bunch of ice cream.
No, then you do a layer of
that's not a cake.
Crushed cookies or crushed nuts or whatever you want to do. Layer that. Then you do another layer of ice cream sandwiches, another layer of Cool Whip, another layer of caramel, and then whatever your other topping was, ice cream sandwich cake.
I mean, listen, I love ice cream and I love ice cream sandwiches, but that also just sounds like, I don't know who put that together, but it was just someone who wanted to eat 18 ice cream sandwiches. And
how are you known for just stacking up a bunch of ice cream sandwiches?
Like, you didn't make this up. You heard of this somewhere.
I had there was a late, when my previous profession, when I was a funeral director.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was a lady.
Someone gave it to you as a thank you.
Well, yeah. There's this old lady who I helped. And it wasn't for a funeral, but I helped her. Like I helped her. I can't remember if it was like there's this local church. They need someone to dress up like the Easter Bunny or something or whatever. But she made it there and she made me my own pan as a thank you. And I was like, damn. I was like, this is really good. And she gave me the recipe for it. And so then I started making it.
It's just a bunch of ice cream sandwiches stacked now. What kind of recipe do you need? Stack a bunch of ice cream sandwiches. Like what? What are you talking about?
Whipped cream in between.
You're like, this nice old lady. This was in her family for 100 years. She stacked a bunch of ice cream sandwiches up and gave them to you in a pan.
I didn't say, first off, I didn't say it was her family 100 years. I said she made it for me. It was really good. I asked her, like, hey, is it just like what's all with this? She told me. And so that's
ice cream sandwich.
I have a new one for you that came up on my Instagram then, Eli. If you're really into making ice cream sandwich cake, I have an even easier one for you. And I don't know why it came up in between dog videos of suggested videos, but it was someone took about, let's just say like not a tin, but same thing. Take a Tupperware. They took about 6 McDonald's ice cream cones, or I guess anywhere.
Oh, I saw that they put them upside down.
Turned them upside down, crushed them all together, and then put the cookies, the sprinkles, and fudge.
Yeah, people are doing that now.
Is this what people call cooking nowadays? Like, am I 95 years old and I'm like kids nowadays? Like, You just put a bunch of shit in a pan and be like, I cooked that.
Yeah, but you know how delicious
I can make a turkey.
is?
I can make a turkey cake. You put a turkey in a pan and put whipped cream on it. There you go. It's your turkey cake.
Well, the ice creams, all these ice cream ideas, though, as great as they are, because I fucking love ice cream. It's like my favorite dessert. But these all melt so fast. Like,
well, that's the beauty of ice cream cake.
Shitty.
Because the Cool Whip
those melt too. Oh, the Cool Whip keeps it cool.
Well, like the Cool Whip and being in the freezer, and the fact that there's like the ice cream sandwich biscuit part.
Oh, you freeze it, so it's like a cake.
Yeah,
so it's like a Carvel cake.
Kind of, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you could just go buy a Carvel cake, which is delicious.
Do you make the ice cream sandwiches yourself?
No,
I buy them. I buy them.
Then shut up. I don't never want to hear about this.
Are you telling me?
I don't ever want to
No, if you're telling me right now, if I came to your house with fucking ice cream sandwich cake, you're gonna go, I wouldn't know that.
You know what? I would knock it out of your hand.
No, you
I would say, get that bullshit out of here.
Wait,
you would eat it and you would love it.
It has to be Cool Whip, not whipped cream.
Yeah, because whipped cream doesn't
totally different things.
They don't hold as well, so you have to use Cool Whip.
Yeah, use Cool Whip. Okay. Because Cool Whip's got different tastes too. Like some people like Cool Whip as like a.
Yeah.
My dad does. I probably can make this for him for Father's Day.
You want me to send you the recipe?
I can make this for.
Anybody can make it. Literally anybody can make it. You just put shit in a pan.
No, there's an order you have to do it, and then depending what type of flavor profile.
Jamie, you said that like you required any skill at all. You're like, man, I might be able to make it.
I'm going there on September 11th. I'm gonna bring an ice cream sandwich cake.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Listen, it's everybody that I've ever made it for was like, wow, this is really good. It's delicious. It sounds so simple.
Yeah, because it's so ice cream sandwiches in a pan.
So wait, are the mix-ins only in that middle layer, or they're on top?
No, they're on top. They're on top too as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you want the recipe, right? I'll write it down for you. You're welcome. See, Jeff, I think you just don't have the baker's touch.
You know, there's two things West Virginia is known for: ice cream sandwich cake and corn cob bird feed.
You know what, though? Now, my corn cob bird feeder doesn't sound so crazy, huh?
No, it does. That hasn't changed.
It still sounds crazy. Now, just everything else you say sounds crazy.
Listen, I bet you if I made it, and you took one bite, you'd be like, wow, this is delicious.
Well, yeah, because ice cream is fucking delicious.
Like, yeah, but that's the thing. Everything you said you stack on top of it is good. So it's going to be good. It's not like you're like, oh, well, you put sardines in it. Like it's ice cream.
But it's the way you stack it. That's where the flavor profiles of what the toppings could be.
You put like caramel in the middle.
Caramel. I always like to do some candied peanuts. We're really good with it.
Oh, this guy's looking at you. This guy's a chef. You
can put sprinkles. I can make a rainbow one.
Or you know what's also really good? Get some Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies and crush them up. That's really good.
Oreo. No, then there's too much chocolate. The Oreos and the ice cream sandwich.
If
Nutter Butters are real good, you crush up some Nutter Butters. Put in there.
Like a candy bar, like find a candy bar to
or even like Reese's Pieces are good.
Oh, Jeff left us. He's done.
Yep. I just think you're just jealous because you don't have the recipe, Jeff.
I guess there's no way I'd be able to figure it out.
I think Eli and I, on top of all the movies that three of us make, Eli and I are now starting a cooking show.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. We should. Let's start a cooking show called like the easiest stuff to cook on the planet. Like,
listen, I'm telling you, I'd go on like Hell's Kitchen, right? And they like make your signature dish. And I'm like, perfect. I'm going to make a dessert.
And it's going to be that
ice cream sandwich cake. And you know what? Goram's going to yell at me, but I'm going to understand until he puts it in his mouth. He's like, wow, this is delicious. I shouldn't have yelled at you and I apologize. I go, hey, it's no problem, Gordon.
Is there a certain brand of ice cream sandwiches you have to use?
No, you can use any brand really, except for I saw Sam's Club has what they call the Big Bubbas, which are big ice cream sandwiches. I was like, oh, those might be good.
Yeah.
So I might try those.
Bigger.
Yeah, they're bigger.
It probably depends also on your ratio of ice cream to cookie sandwich. Also,
and how big your pan is.
So you use classic, but what if someone went for the what's it called? The strawberry vanilla chocolate.
Yeah. The one time they made peanut butter ice cream sandwiches.
Oh, well that's super. That's good.
And I use that.
But I wonder what happens if you do the 3. That's gotta be weird because it changes.
One time they didn't have any ice cream sandwiches.
He improvised.
I use Klondike bars.
That's a totally different. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a crust
on the outside,
but it's chocolate coating.
It's not.
Yeah,
but I used it. It's still stacked.
Ice cream sandwiches have like cookie cake,
right?
But they're really good. Ice cream sandwiches are friggin' good.
They were out, and I was on the way to a barbecue, so I was like, I got to do something. I was like, oh, I'll just get Klondikes, and it delicious.
What's your standard cake size? How many boxes do you use of these? Because aren't there only like 4?
Are we still talking about this?
Question, Eli. How many deep is it? Like, I mean, how many long is it of ice cream?
It depends on how big the pan you use and how many layers you want to do. I typically do 2 layers, and the pan I typically use the 12-pack, 6 and 6.
Wait, 6 on top of each other, or you mean 6 laying?
6 on the bottom, 6 on top.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, okay. No. Like you can't eat giant
12
pieces of this. Yeah. It's stacks. One thing.
I could make a mini one though. I could get like 8 and make like a 4x4.
Yeah, you could.
Like my dad.
You know what?
But you have to freeze it. Right?
I'll bite. So when you cut this cake, right? Do you just cut it right where the ice cream sandwich is? So you just get like, big
no, because like what happens is like when you put the Cool Whip on to stick them together, and then you put it in the freezer, and after it freezes a little bit, the Cool Whip kind of binds it, so you just get a really sharp knife, and you can just cut it like regular cake size. It'll cut right through the sandwiches.
I'm thinking what Jeff said, and someone just cuts it right back into the ice cream sandwich.
I mean, you could. You could if you wanted to.
Like, there's only 4 slices because I used 8 ice cream sandwiches in this cake.
Listen, I just want to say this to everybody listening. Where else?
Or are they still listening?
Where else could you listen to a podcast?
Run that recipe down one more time. So
where else could you listen to a podcast where 1, you learn the real truth about aliens, 2, you get a little history lesson about the U.S., and 3, you learn a kick-ass ice cream sandwich cake recipe.
So how's it go again? Goes ice cream sandwiches on the bottom.
Yep.
And then any sweet thing you want.
Well, Cool Whip. You got see, this is why you got to write down, Jeff.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Yeah.
Then a bunch of sundae toppings, and then ice cream sandwich. Okay. I just want to make sure.
And you forgot the caramel after each layer of Cool Whip. Caramel or chocolate syrup.
Wait. Does it go Cool Whip toppings, Cool Whip ice cream sandwiches? No.
It goes ice cream sandwiches, Cool Whip toppings, ice cream sandwiches, Cool Whip toppings, liquid topping, sundae stuff.
It's kind of like making a lasagna, but you're doing it like it's kind of like a lasagna, but
it's a dessert lasagna.
It's like lasagna, except you get diabetes. Can you do a triple decker?
Yeah, if you had a high enough pan, yeah, sure.
Yeah. What about a quadruple decker one?
If you have a high enough pan, yeah.
Wait, why does it have to fit in the pan though, just to freeze it? Like, can't it?
Because you don't want it to slide around. Like, because while you're building it, it'll start to warm up, and you don't want it to slide and fall.
Oh, as you're building it, it could defrost. It could yeah, I get it. Okay. Yeah.
Because you think about it, you gotta unwrap each ice cream sandwich. Sometimes you gotta
get it out of the pan.
Just go into them big
when it freezes, you cut it and then you take a dessert spatula and it pops right out.
Just get one of them 20-gallon tote containers and fill it up with ice cream sandwiches.
It's like 800 pounds.
Oh my God, guys. Oh, God. All right.
Well, hey, Jamie, is there anything you want to tell the fine folks about?
No, I'm going to go make this ice cream sandwich cake.
You are. Jeff, anything you'd like to tell the fine folks about?
I'm at a loss for words here. You can listen to more of Eli and myself and other guests on Lore Masters of the Absurd as well.
Yeah, check us out there. And also, if you've listened, you also already know what the Wicked Wild is. So you check us out on our website, wickedwild.com. Our slasher, which is like horror Twitter, at Wicked Wild We Are. You can find us there. We got a merch shop.
And regular Twitter. We're on regular
Twitter. Oh, yeah, and we're on regular Twitter as well. Or X now, I think it's called.
I won't call it that. So,
well, Twitter. That's what it's called. On what Jamie will not be naming it. Look while we are there. So, let's do us there. And we'll catch you all next time. And remember, everybody, ice cream sandwich, Cool Whip, caramel, topping, ice cream sandwich, Cool Whip, caramel, topping. Bye.